So I've been trying to fix up this old sandblasting cabinet so I can sandblast all the parts on my 40 Series Land Cruiser. In the last video, I drilled 2 holes for some lights, I welded up a stand, and we got it to this part. In this video, I'm starting off with cutting a hole in the base of this thing. This is so I can get into the bottom so I can drain all the sand out. So I just put some pinch weld on so I didn't cut my hand open, and that's sort of what I mean. I can get into the bottom there. So the next thing I had to do was drain the sand out so I could get to the next part, which is making a proper suction feed for this thing. So what I had to do was go and get a bunch of 20-25mm pipe fittings from Bunnings. This is the first one that you need, a bit of plumber's tape on there. Put this up through the bottom with a nut on the top so it can collect the sand. Then you have to put this T-piece on with a cap at the bottom, and then with all the other parts, I made this thing up, and then you just need a brass fitting at the end with a barb so that the hose can go on, and this is sort of what it looks like. You still got a cap to drain all the sand, you have a ball valve to let some air in, and a spot to put the new hose. So that's what I'm going to be doing next. I just used some 13mm food grade hose that I got from Bunnings. I just drilled a hole up in the cabinet somewhere that it wasn't really going to get in the way, threaded the hose up through so it didn't have any kinks in it, and then I put a hose clamp on, and that was pretty much it. Then I had to cut up this grate. This sits in the bottom of the blaster so your parts don't fall into the sand. You can cut this up to be about half the length so it can sit way deeper in the cabinet so you can fit way bigger stuff in. You just have to make sure you get it on the right angle. Then I had to cut up some plywood for a nice base. I just used some L brackets and that cut up plywood. I opened up my brand new Zito vacuum cleaner from Bunnings. I taped the absolute hell out of it to the side so it can take some of that dust out. I put the new glass on with the seal, and then I zip tied a power board to the side so I could plug my lights in, plug them in and test them, and boom. How good does that look? You can actually see inside this thing. Then I just got some old blasting media I had lying around, probably a few years old from when I first got this thing, put my panel in, got gloved up, and got to work. This is obviously sped up quite a bit. You need to finick around with the ball valve at the bottom to see how much air you want to let in so it doesn't get clogged. But after a little while of blasting, I pulled it out, and boom, that is what it looks like. That looks so much better, and it was so much easier than trying to grind it or do all that stuff with a wire wheel. Obviously, it wasn't easier to do all this work to the sandblasting cabinet, but the theory is that now it should be way easier to blast all of the parts for my 40 series that I need. So that's it for this video. If you want to see any other videos, got YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and I'll see you on the next one.